Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? We've been all doing very, very well. Now, once again, I've got to commence a video with a wee apology. Yeah, I know, the videos haven't been coming as thick and as fast as I'd like them to be, but that would be because of that thing I always call real life that gets in the way. But this is real life with a real bit of a kick, because as some of you certainly know, my mother, Big Kilt Mama, has not been well. It's meant a lot of attention has been diverted her way, and things are really, really not looking good at the moment, I'm afraid. So, and she's been on some of the videos. I mean, you guys have seen her before, and she's been great. So I'm just gonna have one of these for Big Kilt Mama, who is now in hospital and has had the last rites, folks. You don't need me to tell you what that means. But, you know, my dad had them and he bounced back again a couple of times. So, go figure. Big Kilt Mama, cheers. I know, hun, you can't stand the smell of whiskey. Whiskey, even smelled at 100 paces, she'd be retching and turn into a furious, wailing dervish. Get that vile poison away from me. But she always bought me a couple of bottles, though. Mum, to you. And it's because of me mum that this video is actually going to happen. Because after sitting with her, we went back to the family house. And although I had cleared out all of my stuff, you know, many, many years ago when I first moved out, and I was only a wee little kid, you know, that's it, I'm going out into the big wide world. In other words, I met Mrs. Kilt-Man and we got our first house together. But I was only very young. And I took all my videos, I took all my books, all my magazines, careful now, and I was a teenager, and all of my toys and figures, and well, I thought I did, but I clearly didn't. So over the many, many years since then, I've always found more bits and bobs and brought them back, you know, oh, I'm having that, it's mine, I remember that. But over the years, there's been things which I've thought, I brought that home, where's that gone? You know, usually it's a case of books or annuals. Now, you guys know I've shown you a few vintage annuals, and there's actually some more which I've retrieved, which I was going to show you, like Star Trek stuff, and I think Marvel annuals and that, which are wonderful, wonderful bits of yesteryear, bits of nostalgia, things that, it floats your boat, it makes you, it's heartwarming to go back to stuff from your childhood. Unless, of course, you had a very abusive, ritualistic, nasty sort of childhood. I did not. I had a lovely childhood. And, but, so a lot of my stuff, I was like, oh, it brings back those warm, sort of treacly feeling moments of sentiment. And in this particular sort of salvage, you could call it, I found a load of books and just paperbacks, which cover a gamut of stuff. Fantasy, horror, classic stuff. And, well, I'm gonna show you these because one of which in particular has been a bit of a holy grail for me, because I've done videos on the film itself, right? And I remember saying in that video, I'm not saying what it is just yet, but saying in that video that, you know, I wanted to show you the paperback novelization because I cherished this as a kid, cherished it. I can't find it. And in my mind, I knew I brought it back to previous houses and then this house, the Kilt Mansion. And of course, many of you know that we have a spook, or whatever, you know, other terms are available. But whatever it is, it nicks things, usually my things, never to be seen again. And so I was convinced, well, it's took that book, bastard. But no, it hadn't, because I found it in my mum's. Even though we'd turned that house upside down, actually looking for it as well, and looking for other things. So, how does that happen? Maybe it's a little bit of mum magic. Here's that book you were looking for. Oh, by the way, here's a load of others, which I won't shut off. They're all yours. So I brought a load back and I'm going to show you them now. I'll obviously, when I get to that book, you'll know all about it. By the way, on that last video, because I'm using my phone records these videos for your delectation, and but even though phone calls don't come through on it while I'm doing it, little messages do. And while I was doing that last video on aliens, a message come through saying that my mum had massively deteriorated. So I'm just hoping that I don't get a similar or worse message while I'm doing this. But as my mum would say, the show must go on. So, because she was an actress, stage and screen. So, you know, if anyone's gonna have the forthright attitude or fortitude to carry on, it's my mother. So for her, I'll do my best. Anyway, so folks, right, what books did I find? Well, okay, there's a whole gamut of things here. First of all, as a kid, I had a massive fascination for Mad magazine. You know, the American satirical anarchic, piss take magazine, and all the books that came as offshoots of it. And I had dozens of books, Mad magazine books, which are all just comic strips and little, you know, one-page panels and, you know, just satirical side swipes at American culture and all that kind of stuff. And I've got a load of them, but I found a load more, and I'll show you them now. And we have the Mad Worry book. And there he is, Alfred E. Newman. There he is, he was the poster boy, you know, for Mad magazine. We have Three Ring Mad. Now, I remember I used to love this. This was my favourite as a kid. I used to love this one. I don't know why. The Self-Made Mad. The Mad Book of Mysteries. I've got more upstairs, which I don't look at all these days. But when I found these, I thought, oh God, I need them for my collection of mad books. And I began to glance through them. And you know what? Nothing raised even a slight, you know, eyebrow raise of, which I said that and raised both eyebrows. I know, you can't even see my eyebrows because they're non-existent, but I know I raised them. Nothing's funny. Nothing. I don't even get the jokes. It's old 50s, 60s, 70s, early 80s American counterculture satire, and I don't get it. If I don't get it now at my age, what the hell was I laughing at when I was like 7, 8 years old? Collecting these. What did I get from it? I remember loving this one. Let's just put them down. And obviously, you know, it's all comic strips and, you know, I think in some there's actually photos as well, like sort of black and white photos with like thought bubbles and crap, you know, dialogue bubbles. So you've got adverts, Cunard lines. Getting hair is half the fun. Listerine tops bad breath. Use toothpaste. What the? I don't get it. The terror from the earth's core. It was drunk with power. Why did its unquenchable thirst drive it to the surface? Why did it come to drain the earth of its liquor reserves? Oh, hang on a minute. Maybe I was laughing because I knew what was coming. In my life, I'd be draining the earth of its liquor reserves. Why did it claim the fifth when it got to Washington, D.C.? Why would you ever consider paying to see this awful bomb? So these are like garbage movies and stuff. And, you know, you got your cartoon bits and all that. And fake sort of newspaper headlines and, you know, columns. But if I don't get the jokes now, what the hell did I find amusing and funny about it when I was a kid? But I remember this one in particular, because when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, there's Alfred E. Newman in the head of the tiger. Wow, look at that. This is the one. Not funny at all. So I don't know. Okay, hope we got into the other good stuff. Right. Ice Station Zebra or Zebra, Alistair MacLean's classic Cold War thriller set in the Arctic, submarines, Russians, Americans. There's people on board the sub that you can't trust. And it's a wonderful, wonderful movie. Very tense, very exciting. And the book is brilliant. Now, I've got probably about 5 different versions of this. They're not different versions, they're just different copies. I've got hardcover ones, I've got ones with different imagery, and they're just different publications. And I found this, I thought, oh, that was mine. That was my one again. Probably the first one I ever had. So I thought, gotta have that. Although I'll never read it again. Richard Adams, who did Watership Down, also did one about a giant bear. A giant bear, quite the. If you look at the cover of this, quite the biggest bear you could ever imagine. Shardik. If you look down here, there's lots of little people down here. That's how big he is, and that is a wonderful, wonderful book. I have 2 different versions of this as well. So it's in this brilliant second novel after Watership Down. A powerful saga of suffering, fire and war, as Shardik the giant bear brings truth to the land of the Ortelgans, or Ortelgans. But it's wonderful, and I've just noticed that some of the pages are missing. Damn it, and ripped. But it's going on the shelves in one of our 2 libraries, wherever I can find space, put it that way. Oh, thinking of space, I've just found some space inside my belly for some more of this. And for those of you with eagle ears, I'm playing Jerry Goldsmith's fantastic score for Planet of the Apes, the original Planet of the Apes, and there's a reason for that. Oh yeah. Okay, what else did we find here? Sphinx! Fucking piss poor movie, but a great book written by Robin Cook. And Robin Cook wrote Coma, the film Coma, which did Michael Crichton direct that? Do you know what? I'm probably getting confused because Michael Crichton, being a scientific sort of boffin himself, wrote many medical dramas which he then made into movies. You know Crichton, he did something about dinosaurs as well. I'm not sure what, like, the dinosaurs are 10 a penny, aren't they? But the brilliant new nerve chiller from the author of Coma, he did one called Brain as well, Robin Cook. And I noticed that inside this, I don't know if you can read this. Once again, me being the dickhead with the ring light. I'll turn it off. Don't know if you can read that at all. Bookcase, right? And there's the price, and there's the address, the big stamp on it. Bookcase was a second-hand bookshop, which me and my mate Nick Pierpoint, if you're watching, yeah, we used to go there with our little bits of pocket money and other bits of money which we purloined from other means. I'm not even too sure where we got the rest of our cash from, because I know that we bought a lot of things. I know I did. And I didn't get given that much pocket money. We went to a place called Bookcase, which was literally about 3 or 4 floors of just shelves rammed with books, floor to ceiling, piles of books on the floor. And they had those fantastic things, which I always wanted, because we've got 2 libraries here with railway sleepers on the walls. There are shelves. And I want one of those library ladders that you go whoosh, you climb up and you pull yourself down into the next sort of aisle on your ladder. Oh my God, fantastic. It had them. But in one of the upper echelons of this bookcase shop was the science fiction, fantasy and, horror. Well, that's where we went. And in there, they didn't have a fucking ladder, did they? No, you had to climb up on rickety cases and boxes and piles of books and take your life in your hand. We were only little kids at the time. So it literally was an adventure, a big expedition. And Nick, it was your uncle that took us there all the time. Maybe he gave us the money. Maybe that's how it happened. You'll have to let me know about that. But we spent what seemed like days in there, and you come out with bags and on your arms just stuffed with books. But this is all pre, VHS and Betamax. So, things would change rapidly when I discovered home video. And but the amount of books that I was bringing home all the time. And the weird thing is, Bookcase, that shop, was down the road from where I'm living right now. Where I'm sitting right now, I could be at Bookcase, it's no longer there, within 5 minutes. I've got to get across the drawbridge first, and I've got to, obviously throw some shekels down to all the peasants out there. Oh, Master Kilt-Man, oh, please, the cost of living crisis and energy poverty. I'm like, get back and work in the fields. Start ploughing the whiskey fields. I need more. It needs to be replenished. So yeah, it was just down the road. It's not there now, of course. It hasn't been there for decades. But when I discovered that, I thought, God, but yeah, Bookcase. God, I used to love it. Another bookshop was in Wallasey Village, where I was brought up. It was Alberston's. And Mr. John Alberston ran that place. And I spent a lot of time in there as well. But his books, a lot of them are here actually, but they were full price. They weren't second hand, they were brand new, you know, hot off the press. He was wonderful. And he also had some very attractive shop assistants as well. Now, I remember spending a lot of time in there, so-called perusing the shelves. I was perusing something else. Oh, can you get... They had a little stepladder in there, not one of your big library swish by things, little stepladder. And I was only a short arse, still am. And I'd ask, oh, Tanya, could you just get, that book on the Outer Hebrides from, or in those, I'd go, the Outer Hebrides. You can't read, can you? What are you doing in a bookshop? Studying. You. She had to go up this little stepladder, and I'd be like that. I used to wear tight jeans. Oh, hang on. Mum, I'm so sorry. The pocket money was well spent. And I was well spent. No, don't make up your own jokes. What else did I pick up? Oh, okay. The Tale of Troy. Oh God, we all know the Tale of Troy. A bloody, mass 10-year-long war. Odysseus' Odyssey getting back home again. Achilles, Hector, Agamemnon, and Menelaus, and Paris, Helen of Troy. Well, there's, a supposed historical version of the events there by Roger Lancelin Green. What a great name, Roger Lancelin Green. I wonder if it says where that came from. No, it doesn't. No illustration. Oh, there are illustrations. They're a bit shit. Actually, a lot of these books I'm going to show you have got little black and white, inked, printed illustrations. That's from Puffin Books. Are they still going? Puffin Books and Corgi Books. All these things when you were a kid. Penguin, Puffin, Corgi, Albatross. I don't know. Alligator Books. I don't know. Now, this wasn't one of mine, I'll be honest. But I found it, I thought, I'm having that. It's from Pan Books. Pan. And it's the Highland Railway by H.A. Valance. And this is illustrated, but with actual photographs. Photographs of trains. I'm not into trains. Trains are a pain in the arse. Trains in this country are always cancelled. They never run on time. And they're always on strike. So trains are shite. But I love the Highlands. And this details the beginnings and the history and evolution till about, hang on, let's have a look. Till, when was it published? First published in 1938. So, there's only literally about, I don't know, would that be 100 years of trains? I don't know. When did he start? I actually don't know. But Kyle of Lockash, Forest, Keith, George Mass, Blaine Atoll, Dingwall, Inverness, Strome Ferry, Lucklucart, Glencairn Platform, Strathcarron, the Duke of Sutherland's Railway Opening Ceremony, Dunrobin Station, Spee Viaduct, Orton, the viaduct over Tay at Dalguise, the viaduct in the pass of Killicranky, the bridge over the Garry, the bridge over the river at Connon, train snowed up at Ardooly, Dingwall, snowplow at Octaneed. Oh fuck, there's another page. No. But that's interesting. I will look at that and read that because, because of Hogwarts. That train, that goes up into Scotland. That's all Scottish landscape. Scottish landscape cannot be beaten. So, what's next? Well, you'll find this ties in quite a bit because, now, I do recall this book, but it wasn't mine. It was my dad's book. My dad, military historian. And I've got many books like this, but I thought, how have I missed it? How have I missed this? Because my big kilt papa, he went start of 2021, so he's in the ground already. But from Major R.M. Barnes, we have the uniforms and history of the Scottish regiments. Yes! I've covered a lot of this on the channel before. I've mentioned Scottish regiments and the amalgamation of certain regiments and the dress and the kilts and the tartans of various regiments and who they are today. Some of their historical, heroic actions. And this is just like another book on it. And it's You've got colour plates. Oh, that'd be splendid. Look at that. Imagine marching into the boozer looking like that. I do march into the boozer looking like that. I do as well. And the thing is, because I'm such a short ass, even with a great big fucking 2.5 foot long busby on top of my head, I can still get through the door without having to duck. It's wonderful stuff. And all the different uniforms and their historical value and what they did and what happened to them. Again, only going up to a certain period. These books are very old. You've got to remember that. They're very old. Sorry. If you can't do it, you can't drink whiskey during a family crisis, then when can you drink whiskey? Okay, we're getting on to the really good stuff now. Okay, first of all, I'm going to show you. I'll be careful here. Whoa! Look at that. Satan's Mistress. Look at that big blue face with the flaming eyes. Satan's Mistress. This is by a publishing company called Carlisle. But they're not Carlisle as in the UK, just before the border with Scotland. No. That's an American publishers. You can tell by looking at the colours of the edges of the pages. A lot of American books had this sort of thing. A lot of American books also on the spine, they'd be written the other way round. So Satan's Mistress there, and you would lie it down that way with the cover to the top. But with a lot of American books of the era, the 60s, 70s, they'd be written the other way round. So you'd have to stack, if you're going to stack them horizontally, you have to take it around that way. You know, I know. The trivia, it's falling out of every pore that I've got. And on certain times in the month, I do have pores. Right, so, I just noticed something with this. This is actually All the Dreams Are Nightmares. The new shocker by Brian McNaughton, author of Satan's Love Child, one of last year's most talked about bestsellers. As a kid, I would have seen that and gone, oh wow, oh yeah, Satan, and to me mate Nick, I'd have gone, yeah, Satan's Love Child, I've got that, I've read that, it's great. I'd never fucking heard of it. Yeah. But oh, there's another horror story there that she's written. This one must be good as well. Have you got a chance to write another one and get it published? One of last year's most talked about bestsellers, Patrick Laughlin, obsessed with strange documents unearthed by his insane mother. Mum. I'm not saying nothing. Tries to raise an ancestor from the dead, only to find a monstrosity he cannot control. Satan's Mistress. You won't be able to put this book down until the last terrifying page is melted from your hand. That's great. By the author of Satan's Love Child. We just told you that before. Well, yeah. I have read this as a kid. I remember fuck all about it. Absolutely nothing. And it's weird that I used to write my name in a lot of books, especially when I was a kid, in big curly, I'll show you in a bit because there'll be loads of it, curly cued sort of letters when I was learning how to do joined up writing, double writing. Only I wasn't trying it there. I was trying something arty-farty. Chris, and I must have just fucking given up. And I'll tell you why I've given up, because if you look, Chris, I've missed the H out. My name's McAneny, right? It's M, small c. After our clan fled from Scotland to Ireland, we adopted the Irish spelling of the name McAneny. So we dropped the A from the M-A-C to M small c, which is the Irish version. But this dickhead here forgot, I mean, my surname ends in a Y, but I've just gone, Chris, without the H, McWy. I don't know. Did I think that was arty-farty? Did I think that was cool? I don't know. At that age, I didn't know what cool was. At this age, I don't have a clue what cool is either. Satan's Mistress. Classic stuff here now, folks. Classic stuff. We're entering the realm of the really, really good. Well, good to me. Who remembers Michael Moorcock? Altogether too many of you. Used to laugh at his name, didn't we? Michael Moorcock. Michael Moorcock was the champion of British fantasy. With late 60s, early 70s, well, throughout the 70s, in fact. Elric, Stormbringer. He's one of these that had, you know, book one of the Stormbringer, the Elric Chronicles, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, so there was loads of, hang on a second. Right. I've just been given a signal. Now, it's not a bad signal. This is actually a good one. We've got Mary Berry's butternut squash turning into soup in the oven right now, and I've just been told to turn it down. So, 1 second, folks.
Off.
Do you mind?
Off.
Oh, off.
Oh, no.
Job done. Who says Kilt-Man can't take orders and Kilt-Man can't operate in a kitchen? Who says that? My wife says that. My wife, Mrs. Kilt-Man, says that often. She's not wrong. Oh, you do. Oh, we need some cooking wine. Cooking, but all you've got is whiskey. You don't put it in the cooking, you just put it in your gob. Or he does. Or he puts it in me gob. And he swills it down me throat, down into me gullet. So Michael Moorcock again. Now this is the Knight of Swords, and this is the first book of Coram. I don't know if I read this, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I read any Michael Moorcock. Oh, in school, when I was only young, I used to talk, well, I didn't used to talk about Moorcock. I used to talk about fantasy books and Dungeons and Dragons and Star Wars, obviously, and you know, the animated Lord of the Rings. At the time, that's all we had. I would talk about these things, and you'd meet other like-minded sort of fantasy readers and sci-fi geeks, horror aficionados, of which I was the supremo, of course. And but a lot of fans of this guy. And that book wasn't mine. I'm going to be honest right now. I remember there was a stack on. We had libraries in my old house, like the house I grew up in. Not Mrs. Kilt-Man. Big Kilt Mama's house. Christ, there's too many kilts and people involved in this clan. We had libraries there as well. Stacks and stacks of books. A bit like that bookshop I was telling you about. And there was a huge section on one shelf of this guy's books. Bloody hundreds of them. And because when you're a kid, you kind of look at the cover as well, and you read all the blurb on the back, and you go, oh, that's exciting, we'll have a look at that. And then you go, oh, well, it's book 3 of us. Oh, Jesus. Well, I'm not going to start on book 3. Well, obviously you're not going to do that. And then you realise, oh, I don't really want to, because you get out book 1, the start of this saga, or this character, and you go, oh, look, shit. Oh, I don't want to read through the first 3 volumes to get to this exciting looking one. It's the mistake that you make when you just should dive in and read. And I read avidly, but I still made decisions like that stupidly. And I never read. I read Stormbringer, which was an Elric novel. And in fact, I've just totally hypocritical there and contradictory. That was not the first book in the Elric saga, but the cover was great. Do you know what? That's not even here. And I haven't found it in my mum's house either. So Stormbringer has gone walkies. Anyway, so the first book of Coram, there's a picture of him on the back there, looking very sort of West Country cowboy. And the Knight of the Swords. This is the first, the first of 3 volumes concerning the quests and adventures of Coram Jalen. Coram Jalen, Esai of the Vedak folk, who is also called the Prince of the Scarlet Robe. Michael Moorcock, a man who excels at saga making in a timeless magic world. That's from the Evening Standard. A master fantasist from Tribune. The most important successor to Mervyn Peake and Wyndham Lewis that's from J.G. Ballard. So, you know, some good plaudits there. I'm just looking to see if I put my name in this, because that would be weird, because it wasn't my book. I didn't. Okay, right. Here's a book, folks, this is a novelisation from a Disney film from 1960, which I barely remember, apart from a couple of bits. But I had this as a kid, a young kid, and I read this over and over and over again. And then now looking at it, I realised I didn't need to spend all my time reading this rather slim tome, because on the back of the fucking book, it tells you the entire plot from the beginning through all the trials and tribulations to the very end of it as well. If you look, there's Mickey Mouse there. It's Disney. It is the Swiss Family Robinson. The film was from 1960, and there's a few famous names. John Mills was in it, And Milton Reed was he was born in India but came to Britain, and he became a wrestler, and he was in a lot of Hammer movies playing a big thug, big baldy thug. He's in The Terror of the Tongs. He's in Captain Clegg, aka Night Creatures, playing a pirate, and he's playing a pirate in this. And he's, I don't know if you can see on the back there, that's a picture of him there. There's probably, oh, look at that bloody ring light. Here, you never need to read this book because I'll read you the back of this outright. Washed ashore on a desert island after a shipwreck. Oh, aren't you always? The Robinson family quickly discover that their dream island has hidden perils. The two boys, Fritz and Ernst, rescue a boy from a vicious band of pirates, only to find that the boy is in fact a girl. Oh, that's going to cause a bit of ooh la la. As they rival each other for Roberta's attention, that's the girl, obviously, Fritz tells her of his dream of a new life in New Guinea. I tell you now, don't bother with New Guinea. Ever. Ever. Whilst Ernst wishes to continue his schooling in England, knowing that the pirates will return, they fortify the islands with booby traps and improvised weapons. But the pirates take them by surprise, and a fierce battle ensues, from which they are rescued only by the timely arrival of Roberta's grandfather. He takes Ernst back to England with him, but Fritz decides to stay with Roberta and his family on their beautiful island. This adaptation of the live-action Disney movie has all the elements of a classic and will thrill and delight by turns. Don't bother reading it because you just know the entire fucking plot. It also has some nice colour pictures in this. Hang on. Shit. Well, they've kind of buggered that one up because it's spread across the inside of the two covers. Fuck off. So it's kind of like that, you know? And you've got literally a couple of pages of colour pictures in the middle. When you were a kid, you loved all this sort of shit, like they're on zebras and elephants and what have you. I'm sure there's a picture of Milton Reed here somewhere. Oh, well, there is. But you won't be able to see it. That's Milton Reed there. Milton Reed, folks, was not only in Hammer movies and this, and a wrestler. He was in the first James Bond, Sean Connery, epic Dr. No. Yeah. He played one of Dr. No's bodyguards. Want to know something? What else did I find in my mum's? Dr. No! I haven't set this up. I've set up how I'm going to show you the books, but I found that. And only when I was reading through that, I went, oh God, yeah, Milton Reed was in that. Milton Reed's a bodyguard in it. Because I know Milton Reed not so much from Swiss Family Robinson, but from the Hammer movies. And he was always frightening, you know. But I knew he was in this. I've got a lot of these old Ian Fleming Pan publications of James Bond stuff. A lot of them. But there's loads up there. I did not know I didn't have this until obviously I discovered it literally a day ago. I'm like, oh my God, Jesus! So obviously there could be more. I thought I had them all, but clearly I don't because I didn't have that one. As you can see, I don't know if you can see that there, written on there. It says 5p, 5 pence. The princely sum of 5 pence. Oh, it didn't come from Bookcase. There isn't a stamp. Well, it may have done. They didn't always stamp the books. But my mate John, I'll specify. I've got many mates called John. John Gordon, mate. Sorry. I know you're not got a green face, but you do look like that. You do. Sorry, mate. Sorry. I know. He used to go mad at me because every single time I saw someone who had a baldy head, I go, "It's John. Looks like you." He goes, "It's just because I'm bald, isn't it?" Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it is. Yeah, he's great. John's a great lad. But look, there's Bond. Look at this. You know, and that would be the Ursula Andress character. Let's have a read of the back of it. Don't you love old 50s and 60s books? The style of them. Look at the artwork. It's gaudy. It's beautiful. I don't know. there's a great dynamic sort of campness to it, and I like dynamic camp. Not sure I should have really said that out loud, but I did, and it's out there now. On the back of it, prescription for murder. James Bond is on a shabby little assignment in Jamaica. I love Jamaica. There's there's a lot shabby about Jamaica, but I got married in Jamaica. Jamaica? No, she went of her own accord. James Bond is on a shabby little assignment in Jamaica. A holiday with a convalescence. The sun shines, the palm trees wave, the calypso throb. But on the horizon lies Crab Key. Ooh. An island fortress. It is the residence of Dr. No, whose prescription for Bond is one long calculated dose of torture. ... and death. And it says in this little box out here, this, the sixth of Ian Fleming's Secret Service thrillers, will, as did the others, grip the reader with a taut, suave, sensual stranglehold. I like that a lot. And then you got like the BBC. The BBC have said, wildly thrilling, packed with convincing technical detail, streaked with sadism. And it's from Pan Books, and there's a little image of Pan blowing his pipe. And the Pan that is playing that pipe, he's not playing a pan pipe. You've got to look elsewhere. There's no real connection there. But that's brilliant, and so made up to get that. And I'm hoping it's all there. The pages don't seem, but they are creased. Oh shit! Shit on a fucking stick. Like Bruce the Shark's been here. That's like the side of Ben Gardner's boat. You know. Oh, you bastard. God damn it. Right. Okay. We're getting on to the good stuff now. The juicy stuff. Well, I am anyway. Cheers, y'all. I do hope you love these little trips down memory lane. I've done quite a few of these with various bits and bobs and stuff like. Oh, I've got to stop saying bits and bobs. That's a phrase which whenever someone else says it, I always go, oh God, couldn't you pick your words better than bits and bobs? And apparently, I say it quite a lot as well. Shit! Right, now, here's a little selection of books. Sadly, one's not got a cover on it. Now, back when I was a kid, 5, 6, 7 years old, I got into a series of books called The Three Investigators. And it's Alfred Hitchcock and the three... That's Alfred Hitchcock. Yes, him. And the three investigators in... And it'd be a series of the mystery of the flaming footprints. The mystery of the coughing dragon. The mystery of the moaning cave. The mystery of the fiery eye. The secret of Moon Castle. And there was over 20 of these books, and they were written by a guy. Let me just find this for you. Written by This is the publishers here are called Armada. Armada was the sort of the kids' books version slant of another publisher, which was much bigger, and doesn't really say who that is. But Armada was the kids' version of that. Anyway, this Armada books belongs to Christopher McAneny, and there's the address. Won't give that out. It says all the books. The Secret of Terror Castle, The Mystery of the Stuttering Parrot, The Mystery of the Whispering Mummy, The Mystery of the Green Ghost. They're all fucking mysteries, okay? Vanishing Treasure. Oh, Secret of Skeleton Island, like that. Secret of Moon Castle. Fiery Eye, Silver Spider, Screaming Clock, not Cock. Moaning Cave, Talking Skull, Laughing Shadow, Crooked Cat, Coughing Dragon, Nervous Lion, Singing Serpent, Shrinking House, Phantom Lake, Monster Mountain, Haunted Mirror, and A Partridge in a Pear Tree. I had them all. Now, they were written, this is a later one, based on characters created by Robert Arthur. And I know that he wrote the first slew of these novels, but this one says text by M.V. Carey. So obviously whoever that is took over. If I remember rightly, these guys, it was like Scooby-Doo. It was a proto-Scooby-Doo. All these mysteries and monsters and vampires and werewolves and ghouls and ghosts and whatever, there would be a Scooby-Doo style unveiling at the end of it. It was always some insidious bastard trying to win over a property or a land deal or whatever. You know, I'm just looking at my hair. It's doing that horrible sort of, it looks like a spider is sitting on my head, and you can see the legs creeping over. But I loved them. I became addicted to these books. I get them all. I had them all. So it's great. The thing is, in my library now, well, our libraries, I don't have any of these until now because I thought they'd all gone. I couldn't find a single one. You can now buy, I think you can buy omnibus versions of these. So you get like 3 or 4 books in one. So it's volume 1, you get volume 2. But the last time I looked, they were quite pricey, so I wasn't going to do it. And I thought, I'm not going to fucking read them either. So why bother? In a life of austerity now, I can't afford to do shit like that. But these are great. So, love, that's the Mystery of the Flaming Footprints. The Coughing Dragon. As you can see, I didn't bother putting the address on. I was just like, oh, my name's enough. Oh, I will say that these books have an introduction by supposedly Alfred Hitchcock, who used to introduce some of his movies as well. Let's just see if there's one in here. There's no reason to think that this wouldn't be genuine. This is The Mystery of the Coughing Dragon. Introduction by Alfred Hitchcock. Signed by Alfred Hitchcock. This introduction is solely for the purpose of acquainting latecomers to the 3 investigators. If you have not met them before, you are under no obligation to read it. The 3 investigators are an enterprising firm of youthful detectives, amateurs perhaps, but remarkably effective in achieving their goal, namely solving mysteries. By his own admission, Jupiter Jones is the leader in residence and the brains of the trio. Pete Crenshaw, the most athletic member, assists on missions that call for this kind of contribution, usually when there's young, fit high school blondes involved. Bob Andrews is in charge of records and research. Altogether, a lively team. The boys reside in Rocky Beach, a small town some miles from Hollywood, close to the Pacific Ocean. Their headquarters is a converted mobile home trailer located in the Jones salvage yard, which is run by Jupiter's aunt and uncle. The trailer has a small office, a lab, a dark room, and equipment which the boys rebuilt from junk in the yard. It can be entered by certain secret passages that are best negotiated by youthful individuals. In other words, short, small, thin, athletic bastards. Now that you know all that is needed, I shall remove myself from the premises so that you may get on with the real entertainment. Now, if I remember rightly, Alfred Hitchcock would play a part in maybe not all, but in some of these books as well. He would meet these guys and he would take part in the unveiling of the bastards. And let's just see if that's true. I'm not setting this up. This is the way I remember it. Oh, I'm kind of going to the end here to see if I can see Alfred Hitchcock's name in it, because he'd normally be there. Oh, you bastards. A lot of misprints in that one. The Mystery of the Moaning Cave. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. See, right, okay. Alfred Hitchcock and see, it does say Alfred Hitchcock and the 3 investigators in The Mystery of the Moaning Cave. So he's meant to be in it as a character. Now, this would be the end. I presume this is the last chapter, chapter 19. Alfred Hitchcock hears a story. So, young Master Jones, the diamonds were indeed found under the bandage on Professor Walsh's leg. Alfred Hitchcock asked. Good hell. Yes, sir, Jupiter said. They captured the professor just as he reached the car, the one with the Nevada license. The overconfidence of the master criminal. The famous director observed solemnly. Well done, lads. Aren't they great? Do I want to read these again? Here's the one without a cover on it. That's The Secret of Moon Castle. When Prince Paul's father, the King of Baronia, decides to rent a whole castle in England, Jack, Peggy and Mike and Nora That's not... Hang on. Enid Blyton. But I'll tell you what's thrown me a little bit there. When Prince Paul's father, the King of Baronia, decides to rent a whole castle in England, Jack, Peggy, Mike and Nora are thrilled. Nora's my mum's name. Think of the fun you can have in a castle. Yeah. But this is no ordinary castle. Strange lights burn in a locked tower room. Weird noises ahead and books leap from their shelves. Yeah. You will be as excited as the 5 children by the eerie mysteries of Moon Castle. Isn't that weird? I thought that was one of those books. My mum was... Well, there you go. That's the madness, isn't it? That's the madness for you. Again, I think my mum was working a wee bit of Macanini magic here. Although she's not a Macanini. She's actually a Fitzgerald. Because she is Irish! My mum's Irish! Fuck's sake. Young Mr. Kentucky Fudge here, sporting a pith helmet of resplendence with a nice spike upon it. He's happy. Right, Planet of the Apes. Okay, I'm going to move on to not Jerry Goldsmith's score from Planet of the Apes, but that one? No. Who remembers the TV show of Planet of the Apes in the 70s? With Burke and Verdon and Roddy McDowall playing Cornelius, the friendly chimp, and their brutal battles with General Airco and his guerrillas, who were guerrilla soldiers pursuing them all across the wilderness. And they would meet the little townships and hamlets and villages of harassed humans, and they would along the way do sort of great new childbirth techniques for humans and for animals. New ploughing devices. They would use the benefit of their advanced knowledge, because they're from the past, advanced knowledge. But after the cataclysm which overturned the earth, apes took over, humans subjugated. Lalo Schifrin's fantastically dynamic score for the TV show. His main theme, hearing it now. But Burke and Verdon, who are the Starsky and Hutch of this world, because Verdon had the sort of the blonde hair with a side part like Hutch. Oh God, the guy from oh Jesus, what's his name? I forgot his name now. From Salem's Lot. David Soul, that's the guy. And Paul Michael Glaser as Starsky with the curly black hair. It was the exact same dynamic and visual look of Starsky and Hutch, but with a lot of apes, not just sort of LA based hoodlums and pimps and all sorts, you know, and Huggy Bear. But they'd venture from town to town and do right by everyone else whilst being pursued. It was Mark Leonard who played Spock's dad in Star Trek. Mark Leonard played General Airco, and the makeup still by Mark Chambers was still amazing. This is the TV show soundtrack. I found these, and my God, I loved these as a kid. Right, novelizations of the TV episodes. I haven't got any more. I never got any more. The red one and the blue one, I remember these. The pictures on the front. You can see Burke and Verdon and not Caesar or Cornelius. It's Galen, isn't it? It's Galen. Sorry, I made a big, humongous Planet of the Apes gaff there. Roddy McDowall in the TV show is playing Galen, who basically is Cornelius / Caesar, which he played in the movies. So, but there you go. Images from the TV shows there. The TV show met with initially apathy, but then it gained a bit of ground. It didn't last long. It wasn't a long-running TV series. But as a kid, I loved it. Again, going back to the 70s, I hugely loved it. And these came out, and I'm looking for the book. Oh, that bookcase stamp isn't in these. But I can tell you what, folks, that one there, I don't know if you can see this tape, yellowy tape around the outside of the book, anchoring the jacket together. Well, that was a hallmark of bookcase. They did it on so many books, just keeping it in check, Now, let's have a look at what these actually are. Right, so that's the first one. It's called Planet of the Apes, Man the Fugitive. A fascinating phenomenon from Galaxy Magazine. A high adventure by George Alec Effinger. And he did that one as well. Now, in both books, there is 2 novelizations or text, storyized versions of the episodes. And in this one, the first one, it's The Cure, based on a teleplay by Edward J. Laxo, and The Good Seeds, based on a teleplay by Robert W. Lenski. Now, in all honesty, The Good Seeds is not a good one. I remember that episode. That's about trying to help a cow that's not delivering properly. It's not the best. It's not the most exciting of stories, but apes were in it. The guerrilla soldiers would chase them all over the place. They were outwitting apes left, right, and centre, hiding out, and the pesky, the rather inept human people who were just subjugated. In the movies, you get the impression that they're really downtrodden and they're very primitive. In the TV show, they could all talk and they had societies, but the apes governed over them. So in a way, they did evolve things into the TV show, but it kind of lost a fair bit. It was too easy going. I think maybe they made the right decision, I suppose, for a 70s TV show, which is a high concept thing based on a really impressively mounted and much loved and critically revered sci-fi series, apart from Battle for Planet of the Apes. And the people that don't like Conquest of Planet of the Apes, shame on you. Awesome. So second one, which is the Blue Book, which I love. These 2 books, I'd always have them near me. When I was a kid, they'd always be near me, and I'd read them again and again and again. And you can see the tape around this one as well, all the way around. This is based on The Surgeon, based on a teleplay by Barry Oringer, and The Deception, based on a teleplay by Anthony Lawrence and Joe Ruby and Ken Spears. Now, the Surgeon and Deception. Oh shit, which one is it now? Verdun encounters an operation that has to happen with a pregnant. Is it a pregnant ape or a pregnant? Do you know what? It's weird. I thought I knew this one. But basically, the chimpanzee that's doing the operation is blind, and he. Have I got that wrong? How could a blind chimp do an operation on someone? No, they must be the person that's giving birth. Oh no, I thought I knew this. But the thing is that the chimp really falls for Verdun because she's blind, she can't see as human. They've got noses. You'd think you could tell. And the vocal sort of thing, you could tell, couldn't you? It's silly, but it's a lot of TV shows like Star Trek and Battlestar Galactica, or many TV shows, 70s, they're very generalised about a theme, whether it be racism, whether it be bullying, whether it be small town bureaucracy, which a lot of American TV shows had that a lot, So, it was really broad strokes, wasn't it? Oh shit! I know I fucked that one up. Here you are. Let's have a look. Okay, let's read it back. I might get this back in a second here. Savages. These are quotes from the actual stories. Savages. They're nothing but savages. They must be caught and punished. They must be taught their place. They must be obliterated like the plague. In one of these TV shows, you had the Dragoons, and the Dragoons are a rogue band of guerrilla soldiers who are very like the Ku Klux Klan. You see what I mean about racism and themes and they were going around, but they were abusing their power against just humans, but in a very KKK sort of way. Hey, there's a rap there. Let's hope that never actually happens. So began the reign of terror. Humans already enslaved were now to be exterminated. The Dragoons, a band of vicious apes, swore to drive the humans from their land, burn their huts, murder their children, and imprison the last sorry survivors in the Forbidden Zone. Only Galen, Verden, and Berk stood between. Berk? You wouldn't be called Berk, would you? Don't trust him, he's a fucking Berk. Berk stood between the doomed humans and their terrible fate. Only they could expose the Dragoons and their dangerous secrets. Only they could keep the apes from destroying an entire race and every remnant of the dead civilization. But in this desert of brutality, small flames of reason and kindness still flickered. An ape doctor and a I've got it now. An ape doctor and a frightened blind female become the unwitting aids of human salvation. Right, the doctor's not blind. Imagine that. You've got to trust a life-saving operation to a blind surgeon. Not gonna happen, is it? You know, I'll do it myself. You know, if you don't mind. Right. Schifrin's score is outstanding for this TV show. I adore it. In later episodes, you would get another couple of composers came in to add, to augment. But as in most TV shows of that era, in fact, even now, what they would do, they would track Schifrin, in this example, would create his main themes and his danger motifs and his suspense motifs and his pastoral, quieter moments. And they would be tracked in to later episodes. So the music would be used again and again and again. But when they found that, hang on, and Schifrin couldn't come back, well, we got to bring in L. Hagen and, oh God, who else was it? Just excuse me one moment. I will, because I need to know myself. And that wasn't the one. L. Hagen and Richard LaSalle did some great stuff, actually. So I'm going to play some of that. Let's go into some of this stuff. Suspense and tribal and weirdness. And elegant moments of peace and tranquility where things might just work out well. No, they won't. But I love that TV show. Remember there was Logan's Run had a TV show as well. Obviously you had Battlestar Galactica. Obviously you had Buck Rogers. Billy. You know, nice one, Buck. Yeah, fucking hell. Yeah. Mel Blanc doing the voice of Tweaky. You know, and fucking Gil Gerard, or Jill Gerard, or Jill Gerard, however you fucking pronounce his name, as Buck, and Erin Gray as Wilma Deering. Oh dear God Almighty, those skin-tight fucking spacesuits. Once again, I have to raise a whiskey and say, bring it on. A man born out of time. A man ahead of his time. Yeah. I'm born out of my time. My time was a fucking long time ago. But I'm still here, folks. I'm still here. And so is my mum, by the looks of things. No messages have popped up. Right, now we're going to get on to the very thing. The Holy Grail. I know you were thinking like, Christ, Kilt-Man, get to the fucking thing you found that really, really made your day. Don't worry, it's there. It's there. And I'm now going to go and find the music for it. Oh, God, come on now. H. There is a clue here, by the way, with the fucking title written all over it. God, where is it? Ha. And no, this is not Jeff Wayne. Although it does not sound like it. Jeff Wayne and War of the Worlds. Yeah, a slight rip-off took place. But this is still awesome. $1980, in fact. Hawk the Slayer from Terry Marcel and Harry Robinson. Harry Robinson did the score. This is his music playing here. Hawk the Slayer. Jesus Christ. Jack Palance as the big bad guy. And is it Nigel Terry? Nigel? Hang on, let me just check. John Terry. But you had Bernard Bresslaw as a giant who actually isn't that giant. Bernard Bresslaw from Carry On movies. And you had the little dwarf fella, Baldwin. And he's not even that short. He's about 5'3", which is only a couple of inches smaller than me. No, it's about 3 or 4 inches. But he's not exactly a dwarf, is he? But I've covered this movie. I've covered Hawk the Slayer on the channel. Did a massive big review of it. It's tripe, it's shite, it's a turkey, but I love it. I genuinely love this movie. It's pure D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. It's one of the best fantasy movies. It predates the likes of Conan the Barbarian, Sword and the Sorcerer, even Excalibur, for God's sake, you know. This film actually does predate all of those and hits all those high notes. It's a quest, it's a vengeance spree. You've got mysticism, you've got an elf with pointy ears who can fucking fire. What's meant? Think Steve Austin in the $6 Million Man. Every time he's running, you know, he's meant to be running super fast or doing things super fast. But to show these doing things super fast, they film it and show it in slow motion. But for Crow, who's great, I love him to bits. And he is dead quirky and bizarre as well. There's a definite mystical angle to him. But whenever he's like firing arrows, he leaps into the air, and it's the same shot repeated about 10 times. And you're meant to go, and arrows go. It's again speeded up, but the same shot just added to itself time and time again. So a guy gets quilled with arrows, you know, but it's the same fucking shot. Love it. Cheapskate, absolute low budget. British forests, British cast, apart from Jack Palance, obviously. And you've got oh god, Catherine, what's her name? Shit, what is her name? Catriona MacColl from Lucio Fulci's movies, The Beyond, City Living Dead. Great, she's great as a doomed lassie in this, but part of the vengeance spree between two brothers. One super bad and evil and corrupt and disfigured and wears a half Darth Vader mask. Voltan, Jack Palance, and John Terry as Hawk the Slayer, who wants revenge, and he will amass these other guys around him to defend the monastery from the evil of Voltan. Folks, that book there, this, what you're seeing right there, that's the Holy Grail that I've been looking for, that I've turned this house upside down several times looking for it. When I did my big review of that movie, I wanted to have that book just sitting there and go, I've got the book as well, I've got the novelisation, you know. I wanted to show you, couldn't find it. I was fuming. Only found it yesterday. There it is, it's in my mum's, my old house. It was there all the time. But I'd been through that house before, never found it. How did it suddenly appear amongst all the three investigators and Dr. No and all the other shite Planet of the Apes that I've shown you? But this, fucking amazing. Do you know what? I said before, at the start of this, I had 3 books in my school bag from the ages of sort of 9 to 11, which would cover this. And those 3 books were thus. It was the novelisation of Moonraker, which I've got, it's upstairs. Moonraker, James Bond. I love Christopher Wood. I loved the cover of it. I loved reading it, and it was just the thickness of the book, the colour of it, just the illustration, which was the worst of Roger Moore, you know, in his Action Man silver spacesuit with his Walker PPK zooming up from planet Earth into orbit like that. And he was smaller in the background than the Earth was. But I loved it. As a kid, I adored that and read it and read it and read it. It lived in my bag all the time. I couldn't leave home. I couldn't leave the front door without that book in there and without the book for Superman the movie. Very similar. A cartoonic version of Christopher Reeve flying up from Earth and all that shit. Superman the movie, the novel. That book, I haven't got. I can't find it. I don't know where it is. And I've looked for it. Again, like this, look for it. Can't find it anywhere. It has completely gone. But the weird thing is, I don't remember the last time I ever saw that book. So that may have been, I don't know, lost. Just as a kid, lost. And then I must have cried myself to sleep every night. My triumvirate of bookage is not available. Oh, I can't go on. It was gone. It was gone. I have not got that book anymore. Moonraker's still there. And this was the other book. So it was Superman the movie, Moonraker, and this. And look at that's the poster. Fucking awesome. Hawk the Slayer. Jesus Christ. Terry Marcel. Harry Robertson. For sake. You were meant to bring out Hawk the Hunter. It was meant to be the next one. My other major favourite sword and sorcery movie is, and you guys know it, I'm not going into too much on this, The Sword and the Sorcerer, which I absolutely fucking adore. Lee Horsley as Talon, with his three-bladed sword, which fires the blades. It's fucking stupid. But it's gore and tits, and it predates Conan the Barbarian again, but it's telling the Conan story, but in a much smaller, low-key, just, we're having fun. It's brilliant. I have covered that film as well. They finally got their fucking sequel out. Tales of an Ancient Empire. I covered that too. Do look for it. But then just hear my opening words and then go, alright, fine, no worries. Because it's one of the worst things ever put on screen, ever created. But look. John Terry there with the Mind Sword. The Mind Sword! It's great. The hilt has a hand with a cast of mystical bronze, and the Mind Stone goes in and the hand goes whoosh, and holds onto it. It's just, I collect swords. I have lots of movie swords. I have lots of replicas and lots of individual stuff as well. And lots of a lot of real swords, genuine swords that have been used in battle. But of all the things, forget, Conan, Atlantean sword. I've got Maximus' sword. I've got several Maximus swords. I've got loads of the Lord of the Rings swords. Forget all of them. The one fucking sword I genuinely want and long for is the Mind Sword from Hawk the Slayer. It looks so damn cool. It looks amazing. It's a beaut. I'd love someone. Tom Murdoch, you're out there as well. You once said to me, you'd make that for me. You haven't. Mind you, I presume you want paying as well. No, there's a slight problem. But the Mind Sword. There are replicas out there. There are, and there's people that I've followed who made their own, but they know what they're doing. They've got forges and foundries, and they can use hot steel. And they can hit things with hammers and bend them into shape, and they can do casting and I can't do any of that shit. I can't. I do this. But the Mind Sword I would dearly love. If anyone has any sort of way of getting hold of one of these that can impart some knowledge to me, would be wonderful. Or even just send me one. Aye. So that was my holy grail, and I found it now. In a time when the dark clouds of chaos covered the land and roads were filled with death, Voltan, the Dark One, rode out. Against him stood one man. It's always only one man, isn't it? One man. Only one man can do it. But that one man has to go and get a fucking bunch of people to help him. Only one man. Armed with the legendary Mind Sword, whose blade moved with the speed of thought. The speed of thought. I don't know about you guys, but my thoughts change rapidly from millisecond to millisecond. So that sword, I must kill Voltan. But oh no, he's my brother. I'd kill myself with the fucking sword. So a mind moves with the speed of thought. Perhaps ain't the best idea. Hawk the Slayer, the warrior marked by destiny to cut down the Dark One. Oh yeah. Destiny to cut down the Dark One, you say? Right, let's just... Oh! I'll cover the address up. But look at that, look at that Macaulay Cute sort of writing. What a dick. Yeah. Right, okay, right. So the end of it all has that... No, should we read the beginning? The legend of the Mind Sword. There is a tale of a wondrous sword, which, it is said, will be wielded by a hero of great valour each time the works of men are threatened with extinction by the forces of evil. The Tories! Cities and empires have long crumbled into dust. Nothing is left of them but a memory which mourns for lost glory. But the legend of this sword has lingered in the myths and songs of men from age to age. Some say it was forged in the bowels of a crooked mountain by trollsmiths, long dead. From a metal not of this earth, but from the fused ore of a lightning bolt let fall from the dying hand of the Sky King. That's fucking brilliant, you know. That's way beyond anything you see in most fantasies, which came after this. This is 1980. This is 1980, folks, and probably written and devised in 79. So it's pure D&D. And then you got all the Conan movie offshoots. But anyway. And Excalibur and all that kind of stuff. Imbued with unearthly power, it needed the greatest magicians and sorcerers of that time to fashion their own, here's a made up word, thaumaturgical ornaments to control its potency. Thaumaturgical? From the secret land of the elven folk, a hilt that was the golden hand of their noblest suzerain, clasped in its metal fingers the last great elfin Mind Stone, a crystalline brain orb, whose incredible energy could only be sparked to life by a mind of like convolutions and accord. So it was forged to become the mighty Mind Sword, an invincible weapon, answerable only to the thought command of one man, and which could give him, some say, the key to the ancient power. Since the time of the war to end all wars. Now that was the First World War, the war to end all wars. It has disappeared from man's ken, and, so the legend goes, will only reappear when a hero of heroes comes to lead the land out of the darkness. This is the first part of the saga of that sword. Well, there never was in the saga another part of this saga. The war to end all wars, that was the First World War. I've just read that for the first time in many, many eons, and it is a bit weird to use that phrase. Anyway, they defeat Voltan, and but you've got this mystical fucking cave-dwelling witch, which is like, oh, Voltan and all that just shadowy fucking wraith thing. Then you get epilogue. Right, so, spoilers, folks. The bodies lay in the main chamber of the monastery. It was silent as the grave. From nothing, a point of blackness started, became a blot, a pool of Stygian night. Out of this jet miasma glided a tall creature who moved to one particular corpse. I like that. Out of this jet miasma glided a tall creature. I like that. We have further use for you, Dark One, hissed the Black Wizard. Effortlessly, he enveloped the body of Voltan, Jack Palance, within his cloak and disappeared back into the inky darkness from which he had sprung. The evil begun once more. Dot, dot, dot. And a little bit of a blodge, which I put in there, being a stupid kid. I put a little blotch in there. What a knobhead, you know. Isn't it great though? I truly love it. Truly love it. By the way, there's the Blu-ray for Hawk Slayer. There's my two books from yesteryear. Twisted Tales Volumes 1 and 2. Sadly not still available. Damn it! Could have made a fucking fortune. But by the way, those two copies you see there are from my mum's house as well. Because she bought every copy. She had fucking thousands of them. I don't think she'll need them again. But she loved them. And everyone who went to my mum's house, my son, Christopher. Yeah, Christopher. And they were like, oh, do you mean Kilt-Man? Yes, the silly one in the kilt. He wrote these two books. They're marvellous. They are thanks. But I should start writing again. I really need to do it. I really need to break out from the rat race and the stupidity of being employed by complete and utter governmental knobheads. There, I did it. I managed to just, at the end of it all, at the end of it all, he threw in a shovelful of politics and then he shit all over it. Yes, I did. Politics is shite. It's necessary, sadly necessary, in the world that we have created, the society that we live by. We need to have, apparently, politics. But as you all know, politics don't work. It's corrupt as fuck. If I could go back to a time in a cave with my brethren, my kin, and defend it, I would. I'd love that. I would love that. Modern society, oh, your movies, Kilt-Man, don't talk such absolute twaddle and rot. You want your big screen TV and your surround sound? Of course I fucking do. But I want to sustain my life, and prosperity doesn't mean a great deal to me. And prosperity shouldn't mean much to anybody except in this environment. Now we're driven by, you've got to have a job, you've got to pay tax, you've got to do this, you've got to. And like we as governments have fucked everything up, but we've got to make you pay. We fucked it up, we're gonna make you pay for it all the time. We're not gonna give any pay rises, but cost of living is gonna go like that. So how are we going to pay for this? They do. They want nations of debtors, because the debt. And by the way, folks, don't worry about it. You're going to be in debt. We're all going to be in debt. Who cares? They want that. That's exactly what they want. You'll still get whatever you want. Just go in debt. You won't get out of it. You'll never get out of it. That. Once you realise that fact, you might sleep a bit easier. You're going to be massively in arrears with some people certainly with the energy bills and all that. They're meant to have sorted this out. Oh, it's convenient. The Russians invaded Ukraine because apparently Ukraine was the fucking place which governed everything. Everything. All your fuel, all your food, every fucking thing went through the Ukraine. And now, because of that, because of Russians, oh, fuck. I've served with the forces. I've worked for the government since 1986, folks. I know the shit when I see it, and I'm seeing it too much now. Too much. It's been shit all the time. They've always lied. They've always lied to us. Always. But now they're really, really slamming it down. You had COVID. COVID kept you down. COVID exists. I'm not knocking that. I fucking had it. It fucking floored me only 2 weeks ago. It fucking destroyed. You saw. I did videos. I was dying. But the overreaction to it destroyed many, many more. And their attitude to it, they now know that they can keep populations down and scared and worried. And the media The mass media is totally in their thrall. So don't watch the news. Don't watch it. Watch it periodically. Find your news outlets that you like and you trust. Because if you watch the mainstream news outlets, it's doom, gloom. And its purpose is to keep you down and frightened. The population right now, I live in England. The New Jerusalem. I live in the UK, and the UK is an absolute shithole. It is. There's a husky shaking its head now, going, "I love it here." You might see a couple of ears go, "Oh, there you go." Migrants are apparently, according to what's her name, our fucking foreign minister, Braverman, they're invading in little tiny ships. A sort of a reversal of the Dunkirk rescue and the invasion, obviously, and D-Day. Kind of reversal of all that. And they're coming across in like little tiny boats, all overcrowded, because of corrupt twats and gangsters who are putting them in these things. But, why? Why are you coming to the UK? Oh, they're coming there because whatever has driven them out is far worse than what they might face in the UK. What? No jobs, no pay rises, no help. NHS on strike. Fucking everything's collapsing. There's nothing left anymore. Nothing. And we're a little fucking. Look at the map. Fucking hell. Guys, look at the map of the world. Look at the globe. Look at the UK. Little fucking chunk. We fit into Texas about 3 times. Into Texas about 3 times. We're like that. And you're all coming here. The fuck? What do you actually think you're going to get here? Nothing. Because the people living here have got less than nothing. No, there's more to it than that. A lot more. And I know a lot more. But I can't say a lot more. Sadly. That day may come when I do divulge a little bit more about let's put it in filmic terms, the thematic structure of the last act. There's my last act. And I'll when it all kicks off, which it will, I'll just be sitting here going, I told you so. So, nostalgia, books, Big Kilt Mama, movies, Mind Swords, Alfred Hitchcock, investigators, writing your name in little curly cute letters, and whiskey and politics. Wow! Don't ever say, Kilt-Man, you don't give us nothing. Oh, you're just the same old. Jerry Goldsmith, there, the maestro, Jerry Goldsmith, who composed that fantastic score for Planet of the Apes. I'm going to go back to that actually. If I can find it. Should be easy. It is alphabetical, but. Am I going to go on to the hunt? Charlton Heston finally realises, shit, these stupid people, they're being hunted by what? Apes on horses, gorillas with guns on horses. I don't know. Folks, I know I cover a lot of stuff. I go off on tangents. A lot of you like that though. That's the whole crux of all of this. That I'm just myself. I do these things, and I tell you what's going on in my life. I see a lot of you already know certain things, and I'm not cutting anybody off. I mean, it's just I've I know a lot of people a bit more, so and we have a lot of sort of correspondence. So I will talk the horn call there, isn't it great? It's like apes with guns. And of course, what happens? Charlton Heston, Taylor gets shot in the throat. And he can't speak. So his intelligence doesn't come through to these hairy bastards. I'll cover these movies at some point, but I'll be honest. I love Planet of the Apes. I love Beneath the Planet of the Apes, the first sequel. I absolutely adore Conquest of the Planet of the Apes for, again, nostalgic reasons. Battle for the Planet of the Apes, I'm not a huge fan of. It's so low budget and shit, but the idea is great. And then you've got Escape from the Planet of the Apes. That one I don't like at all. It's actually a pretty well made movie, but the apes have gone back in time to sort of 70s America, and they become celebrities, and but then they get shot down because they reveal what's going to happen and all this, and but it's not an exciting movie, and it's a very tragic movie as well. So I don't like it for those reasons. I never watch it. But listen to this. You can hear the guttural chanting of apes as well. Goldsmith brings all this in, and all this wood block and like this jarring sort of tribal sort of excitement and agitation. It's brilliant. Shakers. And I prepare piano. Goldsmith. Gotta say this now. Goldsmith, you, sir. My favourite composer of all time. The way he uses piano in pulsating action cues. Look at First Blood. The piano plays a huge part. He uses the piano a lot in his scores. He uses synth a lot as well. He's one of the few composers who were old school orchestral composers who went on to embrace electronics and the synthesizer and made some great scores. Only a couple I didn't like at all, which would be, and I said don't like it, Runaway, the Tom Selleck one, with the spider bots and Gene, from Kiss, Gene something or other, you know what I mean, that guy, Gene Simmons. That was an all electronic score, and to be honest, I didn't like it. It's got a theme to it which I don't mind, but the actual rest of it I'm not too fussed on. But listen to that. It's tribal, it's archaic, it's primitive, it's frightening. Because not only is it primitive, but it has some sort of organised uniformity to it, as in the apes have taken over. They're primitive, but they've got their society and they're in power. So you've got this horn call. It's frightening. And never has a film before depicted. This is the first film. Let's reword this. This was the first film to depict an alien landscape so perfectly, and yet it's not alien, it's Earth. But when you first see the movie, we all know it now, but when you first see the movie Planet of the Apes, that seems alien. Those little crystal blue lakes, the big, mountains, the rock canyons. I've forgotten what desert they're in now, but they're in a big desert anyway. I've forgotten it. Is it Arizona, New Mexico? Shit, where is it? I have forgotten. Sorry, folks, but I'm not prepared for this. But it looks alien completely. It looks like a lot of the old, like a lot of the books I showed you there with their old sort of vintage covers, their art drawn covers. An alien landscape would be depicted as this desert landscape, a sort of Death Valley with like amazing rock structures and crystal blue lakes, but it's still it's hostile. It's like it's too big, it's too barren, it's too like stark. And they did that. And it's fucking Earth. It's exactly the places I just described, actually on Earth. But these are poor bastards don't know that. Let's end on... Well... Let's end on Hulk the Slayer. It is, you know, it's Hulk the Slayer is such terrific fun. It's the perfect movie to have, you know, whether you bring your mates around to watch it, because a lot of my mates don't give a fuck about movies. A lot of mates do, but the mates that give a fuck about movies don't tend to be around when I'm out, you know, ooting about. And I'm like fucking drinking and pissing about and all that. So you know, let's go back and let's watch like Hulk the Slayer and have a few beers and a few whiskeys and just have a laugh doing it. Be a great video. You guys are out there. You fucking guys are out there, and you could do this. We can make it happen. Have a big fucking jamboree, sort of like chat along, watch along movie party sort of thing. Just realised Mrs. Kilt-Man's gonna go, fucking no way is that happening. In fact she is. That's not gonna happen. We'll go to yours instead. I'll bring the film round to yours and we'll sit and watch it there. And we'll film it there. Because it'd be fucking boss. It'd be a great laugh. Things like this, especially. Isn't it brilliant? I know I keep mentioning, I've mentioned Lord of the Worlds, Jeff Wayne. You probably haven't heard the actual bits which the Harry Robertson score really emulates War of the Worlds, but it bloody well does. It bloody well does. And there's no getting around that. Well, there's a bit there. But it's pop, rock, sci-fi opera. Can't go wrong with that. Fucking great. Well folks, this has been a long video, but we've covered a fair bit of stuff. Great, movie novelizations, James Bond, Alfred Hitchcock, Mind Swords, Planet of the Apes, Christ, Sphinx, really bizarre occultist horror stuff from the early 70s. Yeah, you have to go back and... What bit was that? I'll tell you what bit it was. It was this bit. Look at that. Oh, look in my eyes. And fantasy, adventure and excitement. And whiskey. And my mum. You can smell this right now. And she's probably going, oh, you little bastard, you. You know I don't like it. She acted on stage, she acted on screen. TV, small screen, not big screen. But she was renowned. Great singer, dancer, talented woman, But you know, it's everything comes to an end. Or does it? Or does it? When we pass over, what happens? What do you guys believe? Do you believe? My family's Catholic. I'm not. I've said many times that I'm not religious at all, and yet I love churches, and I respect every single religion. You believe in it, you know. I'm not going to argue with you. You believe in it, but and here's the sort of the contradiction, I suppose. Again, I'm being contradictory. I don't believe that when you die, that's it. Like, lights out, that's it. Dead. Decomposed. Your body does. You. What makes you, you? Your thoughts. What you're thinking right now. Your essence. Call it a spirit. You can call it a spirit. Of course you can. That goes on. That can't switch off. There can't be nothing. There cannot be hospital beds, you know, and your monitors, flatline, heartbeat's gone, dead. But you're not dead. You know, your body's fucking dead. But the rest of you, something of you goes on. Reincarnation, I don't know. Don't know about that. What I want, and Scrubby mate, said to you about this, didn't I? And it means a lot to me as well. I've often thought that when you cross over, the Rainbow Bridge, that's when your dogs die and your cats die. And don't get me wrong, that's traumatic enough, Christ almighty. But always, Rainbow Bridge is the thing used to depict animals, your pets going over. But when you make that passage over that final horizon, in my case, it'll be like either a capsule into space. Get rid of him! Fucking get rid of him! Just send it. And I know he died, but he's dead, but he won't shut up. Fucking blast him off into deep space. Don't hit any of our planets, because we're gonna colonize those if we haven't already. And get him out there. But no, I would actually genuinely love to be set off in a little boat, my own little boat, down the Mersey, you know, into the Irish Sea, and like fucking just flaming arrows, which we'll miss, because flaming arrows are fucking bollocks, by the way. So don't, flaming arrows are not accurate. Don't even think about it. No. I genuinely believe that, I want to believe that I will meet, when I finally, if ever, because I'm aiming not to do this, I want to meet Bela Lugosi, I want to meet Lon Chaney, I want to meet Peter Cushing, I want to meet Christopher Lee, I want to meet Custer, yeah, George Armstrong Custer, and there's many more, and like find out what the hell happened for real. But to sit with my movie heroes would be just, and I'm sure many of the people have met them in the afterlife and listened to all this. So when I finally get there, that hall of not Valhalla, it'll be Horella. That hall of Horella will be absolutely packed to the rafters, you know. But hopefully they go like, it's the Kilt-Man. Bring him forth. Vincent Price would be great, wouldn't he? Like, no, I can't do the voice. I can't do the voice. And like Peter Cushing would be waggling his finger, but his big magnified eye. I couldn't do it. That would be great, you know. And Lon Chaney, the Wolfman. My God. a fellow drunkard. Wow. If you've stuck with this, folks, thank you. I can't help but think that I'm doing this to delay something as well. Normally it comes off in one twist. Cheers, folks. I would say it's a weird place that I'm in right now. It's a limbo. It's a complete limbo land. We are awaiting the final verdict, and I can't deny it. It's upsetting as hell, and my esoteric sort of spiritual weirdness is jealous. She's going to make that passage. My dad's done it. Many of you have met people, well, family members, friends with God. I've seen people die in front of me, right in front of me. But weirdly, because of the scenarios, you couldn't really act upon it. It's only afterwards that you began to think. It's always different when someone that is family. Always different. You can see the most horrendous things, and it's bad. But in my experience, you couldn't linger. You've had to move on. So, but to see someone that's just going peacefully, but dragging it out as well. You're in a limbo. So this video is a video sent to you guys in limbo. Books, music, movies. Let's hope it doesn't get blocked. No, my luck. At the moment, it will do. I'm drinking too much whiskey. Can you ever drink too much whiskey? No, you can't. No, you can't. Mr. Kentucky Fudge is here with a pith helmet on. Mr. Jerry Goldsmith is here as well. And Hawk the Slayer is here too. Folks, thanks for your indulgence on this. I will now sign off. Loads of books. Books are great. Please, keep books alive. Keep books alive. Write books. I wrote these two. I was set to do a lot more, but I fucked things up big time. I'm only human, but I may have to return to this. May have to. I'd love to devote my time to writing books, creating movies. I'd love to be doing that. But you've got to accept what happens, and you've got to make things happen for you as well. You've got to do that. So, wow, pep talk as well. I keep unscrewing this top and then going glug glug glug, and then putting it back on again, and unscrewing it again and going glug glug glug. Folks, I hope I know it shall be Kilt-Man. Please keep it Celtic, and in this meantime, and this ever kaleidoscopic concertina in between time. It's just things happen again. You react, and then more things happen. Just get on with it. That's all I can say. All I can say. So please, be yourselves. Have fun. If you can, raise a drink to Big Kilt Mama. With that hair. This hairy fucking leprechaun wouldn't be here. I won't be talking such absolute turgid tosh to all you guys so often, Well, that's a lovely piece, isn't it? Folks, I see you all. Laters. Just be yourselves, hey. Have fun. Always. That's all you got left.